Hey guys, it's Kelly. You're probably going to hear my kiddos in the background. I'm just going to do a quick voiceover for this video. I worked in my art journal last night. I escaped to my place of zen and made something pretty. Actually, I made a lot of things pretty, so more videos to come, but they're gifts, and I can't show them just yet, but I will soon. I always give it away because I have no patience. But I finally got, I've been wanting them for so long, those Lumiere paints. And I love them. I love them. And I was too excited. I had to use them. I think they came yesterday. I think it was. Or Saturday. I don't know. They came Saturday. And it was a crazy work weekend. So I finally got to use some last night. So that's some green. And I actually wound up accidentally ordering 2 jars of the citrine. I don't know how to say it. Citrine green. It's really, really pretty. And I wound up just blotting it with a brush because I like leaving those blotchy brush strokes in there. I think it adds nice texture, interest to it. And then the next one is a purple, or I think it's called grape. I like the look of purple and green together. I think it looks cute. I didn't know what I was going to do as usual. There was really no plan. I was just slapping down some paint and seeing where it took me. So, and just letting the paint and the brush create that texture for me. I like it. Quick, easy, simple. And then I want it to be a little bit different than the green. I think it gives it more interest, but still to have that same kind of texture. And it dries really fast. I really love that paint. Everybody was right. I've just been waiting until I could get it on sale, and I got a good price on it at joann.com with no shipping. Free shipping, I guess. What a day. What a day. I'm so glad this day is over. And there's some pink. What is the name of that one? It's Lumiere as well. It's pearlescent magenta. Not too much to say here, just showing you guys how I know it's fast, but you can see how you just dab on your brush. For newbies, I'm always thinking about newbies, but how you get that texture, it's nothing special. You just slap it on with your brush. Don't be scared, just put it on there. And then you want to dry it before you add more paint. I've told you guys this before, but again, thinking of the newbies, want to dry each layer of paint, otherwise it's going to blend together. So that right there is the glass bead golden gel medium, and I haven't used it. My friend Carrie, who comes over and creates with me sometimes when she's feeling well, she hasn't been able to be over in a while, and she said, no, I use my glass beads if you want. So thought I'd give them a try, and I left in a boo-boo that I did here. So if you notice, I'm putting it on pretty thick. And I've only used glass beads once before, and I did it for a cloud, and I needed it on thick for that cloud. There was a purpose for that. But when I put it on real thick again with this stencil with the flower, and pulled off the stencil, it just lifted way too much. It was too much. So I just, since my paint was dry, I dried it with my heat gun, I could just scrape it right off and wipe off the excess with the baby wipe and start all over. So I personally think, well, for more detailed things, I think that a lighter coat of the glass beads is better. So once I put a lighter coat on after I get done cleaning up there, once I put a lighter coat on, it worked a lot better. And it's a real light gel. I like it. It's really cool, but it's not my favorite. I would just rather use modeling paste and than just paint it, because I struggled with it. It's actually translucent when it dries, and that kind of wasn't really what I wanted for this. But again, I didn't have a direction, so I just knew, I think I'll use my glass beads and or my glass bead gel, and just went with it. And then after I put it on, I realized, oh, it's going to dry translucent. So when I use a glass bead before, you can also add color to it. Just add some Dylusions ink or paint or whatever you want to color your glass beads. So then it would be colored. In hindsight, I wish I would have done that, and I would have added yellow, because I love the bright, vibrant yellow against that background. So, and it takes a while to dry those beads, and very impatient creator I am. Very impatient. I don't get much time to spend in my place of zen, so when I'm in here I want to get it done. I want to hurry up and create something beautiful. So again, just putting on a lighter coating of the glass beads gel just works better. If you're going to do something like a billowing cloud or pillow, or you know, maybe a different kind of flower that you would want to lift up a lot. I just don't want a whole lot of lift in this because it's my art journal, so then the book won't be able to close very well if it's too bumpy. It's hard for me not to add a lot of bulk to my pages. I think it comes from mini album making. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm impatient. There you go. I don't want to wait for it to dry before I put the next one on. So it's not really placed where I would want to place it, but again, I was impatient and I didn't want to wait for it to dry, so I just kind of weaseled it in there where I could without waiting for it to dry, because if I push on it, I'm just going to smush it. So, but if you want to get it closer, it does take time to dry. So if you're planning your pages, unlike me, I don't plan a darn thing. I plan enough for work and life. I don't want to plan when I'm creating. Just want to roll with it. But if you are planning a page, then give yourself a lot of dry time if you're going to use the glass beads. Again, for the newbies, for those of you that already know that, do your thing because you're good at it already. And I probably could have used something different to put it on there. It's really thin. I bet a brush would have worked, but those little beads dry on your brush and I didn't want it to get all over my brush. And what I'm doing with my finger there is just the peaks that happened when I pulled off my stencil. I didn't like the big sharp peaks on this one. They're great for other things, but I didn't like it for this one. So I was just really delicately pushing those peaks down. And then that is actually some building twine that we had from when we built our house in California, and I forget what we used that for. I don't remember, but it's really cool because it has like little pieces. I mean, you can get twine anywhere, but this one seems a little more frayed, and there's like little pieces hanging off everywhere. I think it's pretty cool. I really like it. Adds a lot of interest. So what I did was I just wanted to paint it with the green, and again, the whole purpose of this page was just to play with my new paints. So I took the lid off of that green paint and then just swiped it on my twine. I just want it to be kind of green. So, and I'm just doing a really rough job of it because I didn't want it to be, the whole thing to be like perfectly painted green. I just wanted it to have some green paint on it and still see the twine, the brown, and the natural organic feel of it. Just to see that through it would be beautiful. And then I didn't realize that, you know, once I did that they would actually, they're too thick. They kind of took away from the flowers for my focal point. So, but I haven't taken any art classes, guys. I don't know all the technical stuff. I just go with what looks pretty and what I like. I don't know what I'm doing. I just go with it. Oh, it's bundling twine. That's what it's called. But yeah, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm just going with it. I don't know technical terms and all that good stuff. I love and respect those guys that do know, because I try and learn from them. But heck, I don't know. I just go with what looks pretty, and if I don't like it, I rip it off, as you'll see soon. There's those tweezers that my friend Kim Reed had given me. I get a lot of use out of those. I get a lot of use out of everything she sent me. So So, and there I go, I put it down before the paint was dry. And I smeared paint on my page. But since my paint was dry underneath, I just wipe it right off. So, and like I said, the paint dries pretty quickly, but it was stuck in all the crevices of the twine, so. And looking back, I wish I would have used my hot glue gun and been done with it. The Turbo Tacky glue by Aleene's, it's good glue, but it really wasn't good for this project. I should have used something else. But my glue gun wasn't hot, and as I said, I am impatient. So I went with the quick glue. It worked fine. It dries clear. And then I could see where I want to lay it without any strings. I was working on a project earlier before I did my art journal page, and the glue strings were driving me nuts. It's like having spider webs all over my hands. It drives me crazy. And I unplugged it and said, forget it, I'm done with that. So there's a little aggravation pre-art journal page that went along with that decision-making process. So I just put the glue strip down in the way that I wanted to lay the twine down, and just laid it down there and held it until it caught. It's quick drying glue. It's good glue, like I said. The hot glue gun probably would have been better for this. But oh well. Actually, you know what? In the end, I'm glad that I did use the Turbo Tacky glue that was wet and it still wasn't completely dry, because until I laid them all down and glued them down, I didn't realize that they were just too thick for what I was wanting, and I wind up ripping them up. If I used hot glue gun, I would have really messed up my page. All things happen for a reason, I guess. Excuse me. It's crazy monsoon season here in Arizona. So, high humidity, 110 degrees. Good times. Makes havoc on my bones and my throat, but it won't last long. Kind of boring part. I probably could have sped that up a little bit. Sorry, guys. By the time I get done recording all of it, then uploading it onto Movie Maker, it's Windows Live Movie Maker is what I use. I've had that question quite a bit. It's what I have, so it's just what I use. I'm sure there's better things out there that you could buy. I'm just not going to do that. But when I'm working, I've got kids in the background, I've got my radio going, I'm singing and all that kind of stuff. So, and I stop the video often, so talking as I go isn't something I kind of like to do when I'm art journaling. I like to do the voiceover later, but by the time I do the video and by the time I get the voiceover done and get it saved in Movie Maker, it's a lot of time. So anyway, I forgot where I was going with that thought, but probably complaining. So that's my Dilutions ink, and it's Lemon Zest, I think it is. And as I said, you know, after I put the glass beads down, I realized, shoot, it's translucent. You're not really going to see it. I would have been better off using modeling paste, but you know, it's fun to use the different textured mixed media things that you have. So, and that helped. You can just brush on the ink just like paint. And it helped bring it out, but it wasn't quite enough. So I actually wind up putting, let me find it. I think I show it in the video, but it's the Grumbacher Cadmium Yellow. It's a real thick-bodied, gorgeous paint. That's just great paint. It's fantastic, but you know, I'm not a professional, you know, painter. I don't need to spend that much money on that kind of acrylic paint, but boy, you can really tell the difference in the high-priced paint and the cheap paint. But I go with the cheap. It goes longer. If I was selling my stuff, you know, I would invest a little bit more into it, but I'm not getting anything out of it but a bunch of joy. No money out of it, but a bunch of joy from people that I give these things to, and joy for myself, so I go with what I got. So, and I kept all this stuff in here, like how I did the glass bead gel medium, too thick at first, again for the newbies, just to show, you know, it was too much, and you can just wipe it right off. You don't have to just chalk it up and throw your page away. You can fix it. So you guys are probably noticing the twine stems for the flowers are just overpowering the whole thing. It's just not working. You hear my kids singing in the background in Minecraft heaven. So I ripped it off and just ripped some of the pieces off and used about half of what I originally had down. You see how that glue came up pretty good. It's dry and it's sticking, but if I had used the hot glue gun, I could not have gotten that up like that. It would have been a disaster. It wouldn't have been a disaster. It just would have been an inconvenience. So, and that worked out better with a little bit less. I was just snipping off some little extra stragglers on there. And making sure the ink that I added, my Delusions ink, is good and dry. And I'm realizing it's not popping enough. On this, again, it was just experimental page, just using my Lumiere paints. Just wanted to play with them. And I don't know what I'm doing there. Oh, I'm getting the skeleton leaves. That's what I'm doing. So I just cut some skeleton leaves and placed them around the bottom. And then just cut them in little pieces to make them look like regular leaves. I didn't want to paint them and make them, again, I've already taken away a little bit from the flowers that I wanted to be my focal point, so I just used them, just like 3 or 4 of them, and cut them into pieces and just glued them at the bottom to kind of cover up the gathering of where all the flowers come together at the center. And it worked out. I also got in my order, I should tell you guys, I finally got, this was like my finally gonna get the things that I've been wanting to get for a long time order from Joann's, because they had great deals. The Crafters Workshop 12 by 12 brick stencil, I finally got that. Now that nobody's using it everywhere and everybody's used it all up, I'm gonna start doing it. I'm always behind. And then I got the what is this one called? It's the Harlequin. Oh shoot, I don't know, but it's got like the diamonds on it. Yeah, Harlequin. And then the other one is, it's on the back, is the bricks. So I got those 12 by 12. I can't wait to play with those too. I've got lots of projects and thank you gifts for some wonderful people on my to-do list that are going to come first. So I will play soon. And I got orders I'm doing for some dear friends of mine that are in the UK. Lynn, I'm working on it. I got all kinds of goodies for you, sweetie. But I got more coming to you if you're watching. So I'm still looking for stuff. It'll take time, but it'll be worth it. It takes time to get the best prices. You got to shop it around. So I like to think I get the best prices, but every time I'll turn around and find somebody got a better deal than me, and I'm like, darn it! But it's only off by like cents, just a little bit. So by the time we do the conversion, it doesn't matter anyway. So there I am, placing leaves, blah blah blah. Can't see it very well. I need to change the angle of my camera, because as I'm watching this, a lot of it is left out where things I do with my hands, a little closer to my face. I need to change the angle. And there's that cadmium yellow paint that's fantastic, and I wind up putting that on there, and it makes them pop a little bit better, it brightens them up. And I wind up kind of In the end, I put some black paint in the middle and some brown in there, and I just jack it all up. But, you know, I don't care. It's good enough. I learned about the, I really sped this one up. I learned about the glass beads, you know, when it's good to use it and when it's not, and was reminding about the translucency of it. So I learned a lot with this page, so I can't say I don't like it, because it was a learning experience. So I learned something new every page I do. And that is that pretty brown. Oh, I can't wait to use that again. Hold on. I'm a brown girl. It's actually, I'm sorry, it's not brown. It's metallic rust. But it looks brown. It's a beautiful, beautiful vintage looking color. Love it. And then I just added some of it down at the bottom there to kind of look like it's on dirt. And just blotted it on pretty thick with my brush so that it had some texture to it like dirt does. Boring. Every time I speed it up, I always get somebody that says, "It's too fast, slow it down." And then I feel like I'm boring you guys with all this, but I don't know. When I'm looking for a process video or some inspiration, I like to sit and watch it, so maybe others do too. So I'm just drawing the paint that I just put on there, especially in the center of my flowers. And what the heck am I doing now? I think I'm looking for some black paint. Don't remember. Some more I could have cut out. But editing these videos takes a long time. So bear with me. I think I'm looking for some dark paint. That's what I'm doing. It's my basket o' paint. Or some of the paints that I have there. That's my dabber with the black, and then there's some Martha Stewart gunmetal. I wasn't sure which one I was going to use, and then after I used it, I wished I never did. That's the black paint. It just, the flowers needed more, and I was just searching. And I wound up just blabbing it on there, and then once I did it, I didn't like it. Added a few shadows here and there that you can't even tell after I did it. And then I just smeared it all around. Everything was a little too wet to use my gelatos or my charcoal pen or anything like that. And again, I was just being impatient, but I could use my brush. And yeah, I jacked it up. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I wasn't real crazy about adding the black in there. I kind of wish I didn't do it. But what's done is done. And later I lighten it up with a little watered down gesso in the middle just to kind of take the edge off of it. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't know. The stills, you'll be able to see why I'm like, trying to wipe some of it off. It wasn't coming off. I just wanted to rub some of it away. It was just too much. And then what was left on the brush, it was just kind of like a shadow effect. So I just lightly brushed it all over it. And then when I put these flowers on here, I was thinking about spring. Spring is one of my favorite, absolute favorite times of the year. Spring and fall, my favorite. Fall more so when I lived in Northern California because the colors up there were just phenomenal, just incredible. The changing of the seasons. In Arizona, nothing ever changes. It's all brown. But all my family is here, and it's worth it. If I get bored of brown, I will drive for 2 hours and be up in the snow in the beautiful pine trees. So it's really not all that terrible. But when you go from Northern California to Arizona, it is quite the change. But we lived in Arizona before we moved, so it wasn't like we were so surprised at how hot it is and everything. We're very, very familiar with it. So I just decided to use paint to outline my page instead of gelatos or ink, which is what I usually use, or sometimes I'll use charcoal pencil to do it too. But I had my brush out, I had some black paint, and I said, why not? And I didn't want it very drastic. I wanted it very, very subtle, and that's exactly what that did. So taking care of my brushes. My friend taught me, my artist friend taught me, take care of your brushes. Clean them as you go. So you know my motto, when in doubt, if you're not crazy about it, add some stickles, make it sparkle, and then you'll wind up liking it. So that's what I did. I added some stickles, just some icicle stickles in the middle. Just kind of try to brighten up my dark center that I did, that I wasn't too crazy about. And then I add yellow stickles as well. Because that yellow is just, you know, I should have just left it with the white modeling paste and then used the yellow paint on it. It really would have popped then. Lesson learned. I love using modeling paste, but again, just doing different things. So in there I'm just looking for my stickles. There's my yellow. I love those, the yellow stickles, and I can't find that vibrant of a color, and I think I got it at like a craft show or something in California. And it's the Ranger yellow stickles, and the new Ranger ones that I found, the Ranger stickles, it says glitter glue, but it's different. I don't understand why they're different. The color is nowhere near as vibrant a yellow in the new one that I got. So I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed in that. Of course in the store I didn't notice it by comparison because I didn't have it with me. I love that stamp set. It's visual artistry one by I forget, Tim Holtz. But those birds just go perfectly in that big green swipe up there, so I thought that would be nice. It doesn't stamp on them perfectly, but you know what? I'm okay with that. And a little grungy stamp to it. Probably can't really tell very well, but I could. And then I end it here pretty soon with just adding some, I stamped on Hurry Spring first, and with that stamp set I'm showing you, and then I inked the edges. I just used it on regular copy paper, and then when I placed it I needed more, so I wind up doing Hurry Up Spring. Because when I'm laying it, I just don't like how it's going. So I wind up putting spring at the bottom and adding up. And then just showing you, for newbies, just showing you guys how I do that. I don't want to, I cut it out because it's just stamping on paper. And I just stamp it down. And I like how it's not perfectly straight in line. I like that for art journaling. I don't want it perfectly straight. When I do things like the box that I did recently, or you know, bigger projects like that, I do want the letters completely straight, and you have ways to do that, but for art journaling I like the imperfections of it. So I just cut it out. It wasn't perfect, and I was loving that it wasn't perfect. I wouldn't like it perfect. Now I got hurry up, spring, because I'm cooking. And I kind of liked it under the skeleton leaf. So in going with the glue I got, I just used that turbo tacky glue, smeared it with my finger and slapped it down and called it done. Wasn't sure if I was going to seal the page or not. That's why I used the archival ink, because I say this all the time, and I'll say it again for newbies that haven't watched other videos that I've done. If you use distress ink or anything other than archival or StazOn, you run the risk of smearing your ink when you go to seal it or add Mod Podge or any other kind of media on top of it. It won't stay put because it's water soluble. But the archival and the StazOn will stay put. So if there's even a chance that I might want to put some kind of medium over the top of it, I will go to those inks. And I only have black. And I have a brown StazOn, but it's black brown. So I don't have any other colors of archival ink, but I'm alright with that. Because what you could do, if you wanted to add something else, is you could seal it with the spray-on Mod Podge, which I've done. It's really strong, takes a while to dry, but you could seal it first and then add on top of it. So, but there it is. Hopefully you can see the shimmer of the Lumiere paint. It's nothing new to a lot of people, but I really loved the metallic look that it gave and the shimmer that it's and the vibrancy of the colors. It's so pretty. So glad I got it. So and there was just, the leaf was popping up, so I just added a little bit of glue just to hold it down. So there it is, and I called it done after that. I didn't want to overdo it. I probably could have done more, outline those words a little bit more, but I didn't. But thanks for watching, guys. Sorry there were some boring parts, but hopefully you gained something from it. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, guys.